Hey, Tony DeWitt here, Missouri Appellate Attorney. I'm retired, and this is not legal advice. Everything I say is simply commenting on the law, and this will be what we're commenting on today. Well, if you've been playing along at home, the verdict in the YSL case today did not shock you. In fact, it probably just kind of made your day if you had been paying attention for the whole trial. In fact, it's pretty interesting that Fannie Willis, or Fonnie Willis, however she pronounces it, has come up absolutely zero today. The Georgia court said that she had violated the Open Records Act when she refused to give records to Judicial Watch. And the YSL trial ended in spectacular fashion for the last two defendants. And let's watch that for just a second.
Good morning, everybody. We have a verdict. We have two verdicts. And I do not want there to be any kind of disruption or disturbance in court, regardless of what this verdict is. So, can we get the jury out, please?
All rise for the jury. Pause your President County for.
All right, thank you very much. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I understand that you all have reached a verdict. Mr. Foreperson, is that correct? All right, and was it unanimous? Yes. All right, and this verdict has been filled in and signed and dated by you, correct? Or for each defendant? All right, and I noticed that Mr. Kendrick's verdict form is dated December 2nd. Is that because that's when you all reached the verdict with regard to him? Okay. And then Mr. Stillwell's is dated today. Okay. All right, Mr. Kendrick, you have been found not guilty on all charges. Mr. Stillwell, can you please stand? You have been found guilty on count 64, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, and not guilty on every other charge. So, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you are officially released from further service, and I cannot express the degree of thanks that Fulton County owes you for your service.
That is an absolutely incredible verdict. And you saw the reaction of both of those defendants. The one man who got off completely free without any kind of sentence at all, he was completely acquitted on all the accounts. He immediately said a prayer, apparently, and said thank you to his attorney, which I think was appropriate. And then Mr. Stillwell, who was the second defendant, he got his verdict, and he only got one guilty verdict for felon in possession of a firearm. And the judge had the requirement to sentence him to the maximum because he was a recidivist. And as a result, she sentenced him to 10 years, which was the full extent of the sentencing range. And then she probated 8 years of the sentence, gave him credit for 2 years' time served, and he's walking out of the courthouse with his buddy today. This is very similar to what happened with Jeffrey Williams, the actual young thug in the YSL case. I think the sentencing in this case, and let's listen to that right now, I think it manifests a little bit of the judge's opinion about the quality of the prosecution. Let's listen.
Oh. Are we going to go ahead with sentencing? Is the state, I know the state had filed a recidivist notice.
Yes, Your Honor.
Do y'all intend to stand on that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So the recidivist is A and C recidivist. That means that I have no discretion but to sentence to the maximum on that count. And the sentence possibility is 5 to 10. I must sentence to 10 years. However, I can probate any part of that sentence at my discretion. And so the court sentence on count 64 for Mr. Stillwell is going to be 10 years to serve 2, with credit for time served, the balance served on probation. All right, I am going to recess.
The reason I think this is such a great verdict is because one of the things that I say all the time is that juries 99% of the time get it right. Now, the jurors that are sitting on this case, they have been sitting on this case for more than a year. And they have endured numerous judges. They've endured numerous objections. They've seen these defense attorneys go after the prosecution like rabid dogs, so to speak. I mean, they have put up a heck of a fight. And at the end of the day, they prevailed in that fight, which I think is marvelous. If the jury didn't buy in to the criminality and acquitted them because of the work done by the defense attorneys, again, I think it was a good day for justice. And then the issue with Fani Willis not providing all of the records that she should have to Judicial Watch, again, I think that speaks highly of the Georgia judicial system in that they recognize that you have a rogue prosecutor here. So the rogue prosecutor first gets reined in by Judicial Watch's ruling, and now her trial team, the one that was just the best in the whole world, well, they came up really short in this RICO prosecution. Now, RICO prosecutions are supposed to be a cakewalk, and there have been numerous successful RICO prosecutions in Georgia, but this one fell flat on its face. I think that is a representative of the quality of the prosecution. They didn't argue their motions well. They did not present a good face in court. They were strident at all times. Most of the time they were unprepared. They had multiple violations of these defendants' rights throughout the entire year-long process. And I think the jury was just tired of watching this show. It's kind of like they were in this reality, like a reality TV show, and they just didn't like the outcome of the reality TV show. They've dealt with these people for over a year. They were tired of it. And they rebuked, in my opinion, they rebuked Fani Willis, and they rebuked the prosecutor who was in charge of this case, both of whom did absolutely nothing to give anybody some sense of propriety in the prosecution in Georgia, in Fulton County, Georgia. So again, this was a great day for the defense attorneys in this case. It was a great day for the defendants in the case. And it was a pretty terrible day, I think, for the Fulton County DA's office. So that's what I have for you today. Thank you very much for being here and watching this. Hopefully you've tuned in to some of the YSL trial. Because of the repetitive nature of the case and the multiple objections and so many different things that happened in that case, it would have been something that I would have had to get up every morning and spend all day in front of the computer to actually do a decent job on the entire trial. And so to the people who have done the trial all through this time, I salute them. They've done a great job. I've watched some of the people who have done the trial, and I thought they've done a pretty good job of encapsulating, even when they're not lawyers, what's actually going on in that courthouse. And so, shout out to them, Cuff Boys, Cedric Nash. All these folks have done a great job of presenting this information. Hopefully you've all had a chance to look at some of their content. And if not, I would recommend that you do that. I think you would find a lot of it to be very interesting. So, again, that's what I have for you. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any comments, drop them in the comments down below. And of course, you can email me at the address above. Like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. Just feel free. And then if you have the opportunity today, do something nice for somebody. And doesn't have to be a big thing. Maybe just open a door or buy somebody a Coke at lunch, whatever it is. I think that doing nice things for people makes the world a better place. I hope you do too. Come on back tomorrow. Catch me down here at the beach, which is actually where I am today. I'm at the beach. So feel free to chime in. Oh, by the way, the water is really cold, so I'm not swimming. I shouldn't have to say this, but you don't seek legal advice from a guy down at the beach. You seek it from a lawyer in a lawyer's office, where there are people running around in suits and secretaries and all kinds of other people. I'm just a YouTuber. I'm a retired attorney at this point, and although I retain my license to practice in the state of Missouri, I am not here dispensing legal advice. I'm just offering general content on the law. And here are some videos that YouTube thinks you may enjoy.